Good evening, folks. Happy Friday. TGIF is Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. Today, Friday Night Lights, the weekend review. Let's talk about it. It was a pretty busy week, wasn't it? Especially for the YPD. Good evening, Yonkers. I'm Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. Tonight, I want to discuss the week's crazy wave of violence, from shootings to stabbings. Also, I want to talk about national politics. Joe Biden, is he corrupt? Is the Biden family corrupt? Hunter Biden under investigation. Will Joe Biden be under investigation? And Donald Trump in Georgia having to answer to charges there and turn himself in. One of the guys, Donald Trump being cheered on by, let's take a look at this really quick. Actually, you know what? I'll show that in a minute. But he was being cheered by a bunch of folks on his way out of either into the jail or out of the jail after being processed on charges of tampering with the elections. So, like, they're really trying to nail this guy to the wall. They're trying to find as many counties as possible, you know, to try and bring him up on charges on, just to make it that much more difficult. And, you know, it's like people have told me, the more they go against you, the more I want to know what you're about. So it's like the more they go after him, I think the more people want to know what he's about and want to know why are they going after him so hard. I mean, there's got to be a reason that they're doing this to this guy, right? So he's getting a lot of support. But before that, I want to show this craziness. It's like a moped epidemic. We're having a moped epidemic here. I don't know what happened. Like in a matter of a year or so, we went from no mopeds to just mopeds everywhere, right? Mopeds everywhere. And it's dangerous. They're very dangerous. But our city officials are telling us we're the safest city. Yeah, we'll get into that. Check this out.
Niggas towing another bike with another bike. Get the fuck out of here, bro.
They're towing another scooter with a scooter as another scooter passes by with two people and no helmet. I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you care about these scooters? Do you have an issue with them, or you don't have an issue with them? Let me know. Write in the comments there. Are they, disturbing or, destroying the quality of life? I don't know. I think of this. I think of, like, Cancun or DR, one of these countries that you go on vacation and you can rent a scooter, or even, not to be like racist, right? Downtown Miami, by the Miami Beach, actually by the waterfront there, along Miami Beach, you can rent scooters by the hour and stuff. But they would be limited just to that area. But it seems like all of Yonkers, all of New York is just scooters everywhere. It's like Saigon over here or something, man. What's going on? And it's getting dangerous. A man on a motorbike dies after an NYPD officer throws a cooler at him. And I would believe this because I almost got killed by an NYPD officer on the Deegan on my motorcycle as he attempted to pull me off while riding on the Deegan as I passed the Yankee Stadium area. I just thought it was nuts. A New York City police sergeant was suspended Thursday, a day after he allegedly threw a picnic cooler at a man on a motorbike who subsequently crashed and died. What the heck is wrong with this guy? The police department said that the man on the motorbike was fleeing from officers in the Bronx on Wednesday when the incident occurred. Sergeant Eric Duran was suspended without pay. The NYPD said the state attorney general's office identified the person who died as Eric Dupree. Man, Eric and Eric. The office said its Office of Special Investigation is investigating. But that's crazy. The cooler hit Mr. Dupree and caused him to fall on the ground. Mr. Dupree was pronounced dead at the scene. That's horrible. I mean, listen, I get it. They can be a nuisance. And remember, we had that incident here in the city of Yonkers on was it Nepperhan by Elm Street, where the Yonkers police officer chased a woman down who was riding a motor scooter without any papers or license plate. She was doing delivery. The police officer had her pulled over. They were trying to write her a ticket and figure things out, and she attempted to flee with the scooter. I mean, she really thought she was going to get far. I don't know. She ended up on the ground. It was a big deal. Remember that? There was the whole video. And the video was, kind of edited or only a certain part of it, or it wasn't the entire interaction. So, a lot of people were upset with the police, including Styles P of the Locks, until he realized, and other people realized the full, extent of the situation. And then they said, well, listen, what are you doing there? We're not allowed to just operate motor vehicles of any kind without the proper registrations and insurance, because they'll hit your car. They're not insured. They're going to do damage. And now you're stuck with it. Guess what? Your insurance goes up because they're going to charge you with it, regardless if some person on a scooter hits you with no insurance, So that's kind of like, the thing we have to consider. Yes, I feel like it's DR over here, so dangerous. And if we hit them and they're not wearing a helmet, they die. It's going to be our fault. I don't know why some people are willing to take a chance with their own life. Yeah, at least they should be wearing helmets, because it's very dangerous. If you're not being hit with a cooler, you can accidentally hit a pothole and fall off the scooter or bike and then hit your head. But I think they're becoming more of a nuisance, however, because they're running in and out of the traffic. They're coming on and off the sidewalks. They're running red lights. I almost hit one guy who was coming down Walnut as I was going down I was going towards the Sawmill on Yonkers Avenue. I didn't know if he was going to stop or not, so that kind of concerned me. Happened just earlier today. So it does. It just disrupts everything to me. But I just wanted to point that out. I thought that was crazy. The guy getting hit with a cooler. That's like freak accident, But anyway, here in the city of Yonkers, we're having a lot of freakish stuff, right? I mean, a lot of violence. And look, I don't want to be negative. I think we're going to be, looking to see some things changing now. I think it's really starting to get to at least the administration. I'm not sure about our city council. They're kind of busy doing other things like grand openings. They haven't even mentioned or acknowledged any of the violence that's happened here in the city of Yonkers. And more importantly, that this violence has been occurring among young people mostly. So that's a huge problem. And that's something that definitely needs to be addressed. There's been shootings, 2 shootings in one day. There were multiple shootings, about 3 or 4 shootings this week, but 2 of them happened in the same day. They occurred among teenagers. 15-year-old and a 17-year-old arrested. Now their charges are being upgraded. That's the latest. Teenage duo charged with attempted murder now after Yonkers. So they're done with the nonsense, guys. If you're out in the street and you're engaging in this activity, look, I'm not sure why, and I have an understanding, but I don't know. I'm not you guys, but this is going to lead you to attempted murder charges or murder charges in jail, or God forbid, dead. What's the goal? What's the end goal? I don't get it. These 2 boys are being charged with attempted murder now. Teenage boys have been charged with shooting a victim in both of his legs near an apartment building in Westchester. The arrest result from an incident on Tuesday, August 22nd, just after 2 p.m. And this is in the afternoon. They're not even doing this at night. When Yonkers police responded to the area of 1 Schroeder Street, more commonly known as Slow Bombs, for a reported shooting, according to Yonkers Police Detective Sergeant Frank. I'm sorry, Frank, if I get D'Amizio, I'm sorry. Arriving officers soon found a 21. So these teenagers are shooting older people, man. 21-year-old man from Yonkers who had suffered a gunshot wound into each leg. First responders then tended to the man's injuries before taking him to an area hospital. Following the shooting, Yonkers detective began working the case and ultimately determined that 2 suspects had arrived at a location in a vehicle and fired several shots at the victim before driving away. The victim had been their intended target. So this was targeted. This is like gang stuff, I think. And a lot of this gang activity among the young kids here in the city of Yonkers is increasing and is becoming more violent. One of these suspects, a 17-year-old Yonkers resident, was later apprehended after authorities identified and located the vehicle involved in the shooting. The second suspect, a 15-year-old resident, was later apprehended as well. They were both charged with the following: second-degree attempted murder, first-degree attempted assault, second-degree assault, second-degree criminal possession of a weapon. You hear that, guys? You hear that, you young guys out there? And check it out. I'm going to be doing something this fall. It's going to be for teenagers, for you guys, 15, 16, 17 years old. This is not the way. This is not the way. We can't make excuses. Our fathers are not there. Yeah, that's right. They're not. Unfortunately, some of us have to deal with that, but we don't resort to violence. We still have a chance to make it. So check me out this fall. I'm going to be marketing myself and programs, a lot this fall. I'm going to be starting a teenage program called the Owl Club for teens. And we're going to be doing a lot of things, specifically in the area of college and careers, getting kids involved in something productive, because this has got to stop, man. This is getting crazy. Both boys were arraigned in the youth part of Westchester County Court and remain in custody. They remain in custody. Their names will not be released. The victim's name was also not released. Yonkers Police Commissioner Christopher Sapienza praised the efforts of the detectives who located the suspect. Our members had suspects in custody within hours of this shooting, taking 2 violent individuals off the street, Sapienza said, adding, once again, we find ourselves at a conclusion of a violent incident involving minors. We need the support of our community and our families to stress to our youth that violence is not the answer. Well, that's what I'm doing here, Chris. Commissioner Christopher Sapienza. So please support Freddy Vasquez. You would be surprised, guys, what would come about supporting Freddy Vasquez in a positive way and say, you know what, let's go talk to that guy. Let's see what he has to say, what he wants to do. And maybe things will go different direction for a lot of things, you know? And that's all I want to do. And I'm going to be doing this. So I'm going to be out there in the toughest streets, right? And so I'm going to be putting it out there. Parents, if you have a teenager, that age range, 15, 16, 14, 18, 19, make sure you follow along with the podcast and the page, because I'm going to be posting up more stuff for your children, your teenagers. If you want something positive for them to do, stay out of trouble, we're going to be offering it. All right. We're going to be, and it's every day. I'm going to be here every day. We're going to be talking about this, right? I'm going to utilize this podcast to connect with people in the community, connect with families, especially parents who have children, teenagers that they may be, having a tough time with, right? It happens. It's not your fault. You're not a bad person. You're not a bad parent. We just need help. We all could use help at times, all of us, right? So I'm here to help. So if you have a teenager and you're going to want them to do something positive after school, stay out of trouble, stay tuned. Check out the page. I'm going to be giving a lot of information. I guess, like I said, it's an everyday thing. I'm going to be there with them. We're going to be talking. We're going to do a boys group and a girls group also. So, it's going to be a positive thing. We're going to introduce them to a lot of, things that they're going to need, a lot of opportunities and resources, like, taking college visits. We want to go visit colleges. College is not for you. Check it out. We're going to, put you with these guys over here. Some of my people that I know, plumbers, electricians, or whatever it is that you want to do. We're going to connect with lawyers, right? And say, hey, we want this guy to intern or do an apprenticeship for a few days, see what they like, get them to explore different opportunities and careers and stuff. We got to get them off the street, right? We got to give them something positive, right? If we're going to expect them to leave the negative stuff, we have to. And it's something that we got to connect. It's got to connect with them, right? It can't be where they're just like, come on, I'm not with this. I'm out of here, right? So that's what's very important, is connecting with the kids, because you can't do nothing with them if you can't connect with them. That's just bottom line. But I'll be putting more information out there, so check that out. And that's all I'm here to do, folks. And I hope that, I see some of you parents out there supporting, because it's getting dangerous out there. We don't know who's who. We got guys wielding scissors and all that stuff. You know what I mean? What's up, Mimi? How you doing? Shout out to you. You see, this was happening in Getty Square over there. This guy with some scissors, and he's just slashing away. A man went on a slashing rampage in Yonkers on Thursday, attacking 3 bystanders with a pair of broken scissors. So you're not safe. It doesn't matter if you're in a gang or not. You're not safe. Authorities say that Eric Ali, 35 of Yonkers, randomly attacked 3 victims, randomly 3 victims on Palisade Avenue just after 4 p.m. This is in the daytime, afternoon. According to police, Ali approached the first victim, a 41-year-old man, inside a business at 1 Palisade Avenue, slashing him with scissors and leaving him with cuts on his left side of his head. Ali then left the shop, and I know that shop. That's where I used to get my hair cut, and attacked a second man, a 61-year-old, who was slashed on the left side of his face and lip. Give him $150. If you don't know what that is, Google. Police said Ali attacked a third man as well, a 35, who was cut on the right side of his head. So this guy was going for headshots, face, heads, no arms, no legs, straight face and head. This guy was going for the kill. The first 2 victims were taken to an area hospital. The third victim had been attacked earlier and had taken himself to the hospital. All 3 men were listed in stable condition. Ali was detained at the scene and charged with 3 counts of second-degree assault. He remains in custody. Yeah, keep him in custody. Please do not let him go. No bail reform for him. No bail reform for Ali. He's dangerous. He was set to be arraigned in Yonkers criminal court on Friday. Yonkers Mayor Mike Spano praised police for making a quick arrest. And so, yes, I got to shout out the police for making quick arrests. That's great because that's what they do. The police are a reactive force, right? They're going to react. So they reacted. They got him arrested. Great. Now what are we going to do to prevent this? We need preventative measures. We need to prevent the guys from getting cut in the face, in the head in the first place, right? So we have to keep the kids from actually pulling those triggers in the first place. So we need preventative and proactive measures. What are we doing here? Again, I'm not going to blame the police. They did a good job in doing what they do. They reacted, they arrested, put them in jail, right? Now it's up to the judges and the prosecutors to assure that bail reform does not set them free, where they pose a threat to more people over there in Getty Square who are just trying to get to work, or some of them just trying to hang out for the day until the shelter opens back up, right? That's what's going on there. But I hear that the mayor's looking to really make some changes, and I know that because I had a discussion with the administration, not the mayor directly, but City Hall, in regards to the dirt that I showed, all the trash that I showed you guys the other day when I was walking along the walking path there in the Nodine Hill section. They were cleaning it up today. Today, there were 2 crews, DPWs over there early this morning, making sure it's taken care of. And I was told that if there's anything like that, just, we want to get it taken care of. Sometimes they don't know, so we just let them know. They're going to respond quickly because they want to make sure that this is not happening, okay? So if you see things like this, report it. You see something, say something. Let's keep our neighborhoods clean, especially, the Nodine Hill section, which is, area that's a little, has been struggling. Okay, not a little, a lot, has been struggling for a very long time. And hopefully, the people will come out and vote this November. We do need some new representation there. No diss to nobody. It's not personal. It's not that. It's just the community needs change. Okay, the community needs change. So if you see something, say something. Let's get it cleaned up. And if you are somebody that's dumping, stop dumping stuff, man. You're dirty in the neighborhood. And if you see people dumping, let them know. Keep it clean. We have to do our part, right? It's not the city. It's not DPW that's bringing the garbage there. Okay, they're cleaning it up, but we can't keep dumping it there, right? We have to do our part. Do our part, guys. All right, let's keep that's right. Let's hope the residents keep it clean. I hope so. I have faith in you guys, right? I do. I have faith. Let's take pride in our community. It doesn't matter where our community is. I remember growing up on Buena Vista, my grandfather kept the whole strip clean. Like he would come home from work and start just picking up litter all up and down the street. He would do all the garbage cans. Just that's what he did. I mean, he had his own job, but he wanted to make sure that the neighborhood looked good. And I think a lot of the old school people were like that, right? They really worked hard to keep the neighborhood clean. And that's when things were a little different. We were more of a real community, more family oriented, right? And now we're becoming strangers, right? As Anthony Moranti said, we don't know each other anymore. Wow, I didn't know about this incident. Yeah, it's crazy. A bunch of people getting, stabbed. And it seems to be like that's the thing to do, right? We could, do away with guns, but stabbings are still a problem. Shoplifter who fatally stabbed a Yonkers store owner was sentenced today to 21 years in prison. So while one man is being arrested for slicing a bunch of people, another man is being sentenced for killing a man after he stabbed him. A Yonkers store owner, 21 years in prison. But that's not enough because the man who he killed will not be back in 21 years. So I believe an eye for an eye when it comes to murder. A shoplifter who fatally stabbed a Yonkers clothing store owner after stealing a hat was sentenced Thursday to 21 years in prison. A hat led to this man's death. Tyrese Shabrick was indicted for second-degree murder on April 20th, 2021, killing a 47-year-old Ruben Martinez Campos, but was allowed to plead guilty 4 months ago to first-degree manslaughter. So, they let him plead guilty. It's crazy. So it's something that we really need to work on. The Yonkers has a gun involved violence elimination initiative. Give right. The strategy must focus on preventative and enforcement efforts on top offenders. The strategy must focus on these efforts in geographic locations that are hotspots. Right. So they have this program here where they're trying to get guns off the street. I don't know. These people don't want to let go of their guns. You crazy? You know how much a gun costs in the street to get it illegally? When you get one, forget about it. You're not going to give that gun up. Not for $500, not for $200. That's for sure. Better start giving $5,000 if you want them guns. Let's take this Yonkers crime quiz, folks. Yonkers crime quiz. Which city in New York has the least crime per capita? I'm just going to give you the answer. It's Tuckahoe out of these two. Which city in New York has the most crime per capita? It's Rochester, right? Rochester, is that one of the big fives? How many crimes occur in Yonkers each year? 3, 1,316, 1,662, or 830? For the sake of time, 1,316. Is Yonkers crime rate higher or lower than New York average? Well, folks, it's lower. The Yonkers crime rate is lower, and this is in every statistic that I viewed. It's lower than the New York average, so that's something positive. So imagine if you lived somewhere else where it was higher than the average, right? If you feel unsafe here, imagine. So you might as well stay in Yonkers. Yonkers is safer than 64% of all other cities in New York. Is it true? Yes, it is true. Yonkers is safer than 64% of other cities in New York. So we're pretty safe according to these statistics. Well, according to the average. But is that really saying that we're safe? Is that really saying that that crime is down or crime is low? No. You know what it means? It's just that means that crime is high everywhere. It's getting bad out there. It's getting bad. It's getting bad all over New York. It's getting bad all over the country, specifically with robberies. Robberies are up huge numbers, the rate of robberies. But that's Yonkers. Really quick, some of you folks have been wondering where the city council president has been. She's doing interviews here talking about a woman who was fined for misleading immigrants. A Yonkers woman will pay nearly $10,000 in fines for allegedly misleading immigrants by posing as an attorney and intimidating them with deportation. So we have people that are here ready to take advantage of the immigrant population that are coming in, right? There's always a market for something, right? So let's check out what's going on.
Migrants in Yonkers end up being costly. She'll have to pay nearly $10,000 for misleading and threatening immigrants. News 12's Veronica Jean Seltzer is on this story. VJ, what the heck happened here?
This is the agreement from the state attorney general Jacqueline Mercado had to sign. The AG's office says Mercado lied to immigrants before the migrant crisis between June 2020 and July 2022, claiming to be a licensed attorney. Starting a new life in a new country is one of the most vulnerable things you can do.
So to find that there are individuals taking advantage of this vulnerable community is disheartening.
Yonkers Council President Lakeisha Collins-Bellamy is talking about Jacqueline Mercado. The Attorney General's office says Mercado is a Yonkers immigrant assistance service provider. She can help translate documents and work on forms and applications. What people in her role cannot do is provide legal advice. Under state law, they even have to post signs saying they're not attorneys. But the AG's office says an investigation found Mercado used the title attorney at law and gave legal advice that could have put her clients in danger. She was also found to have intimidated at least one customer by threatening to report them to immigration authorities. We visited both business addresses listed for Mercado and left messages, but haven't heard back.
It's important that when these individuals come to our community, they know that they have safe and trustworthy individuals that can assist them with the process of becoming citizens.
That's why Collins-Bellamy says it's good it ended here.
It's $10,000, but I'm sure that if this would have went unanswered, that the number would have grown with the influx of asylum seekers coming in.
That's the city council president who broke her ankle not that long ago. She's had several surgeries. She also informed me that she had some plates put in, and I know how that can be. My wife had the same injury. She broke her ankle, also had to have some metal screws or whatever put into her ankle. And now she feels pain when it rains. And I think she can get some AM and FM radio stations as well at times. Depending, let me stop. Freddie, what's wrong with you? Donald Trump. Let's move on to national politics, folks. Donald Trump. Look at the mugshot. What do you guys think? A woman on IG, a African-American woman, maybe I might know her, I don't know, said I got it twisted because I said more and more Black Americans, African Americans, are supporting Donald Trump. This is his mugshot photo that was released. Well, he said he released it also from Fulton County, Georgia, where he had to turn himself in. But he had a lot of supporters. People were happy to see Donald Trump down there in Fulton County. Let's check it out. And this just goes to prove my point. More and more African Americans are supporting Donald Trump.
That's it, man. Which one are you in, though?
Look at that.
Donald Trump.
Free Trump.
I'm talking about they got everybody. Look at that fucked up.
So that's organic support. That wasn't orchestrated, right? There was no one saying, hey, let's all get together and hey, I'll pay you some money to show up here. These are people that truly support Trump. I see more and more videos, right? And it's not about a Republican Democrat thing. This is just about a person. I see more and more videos with Black folks and Hispanic. You guys see the Mexican Americans who support Trump, man. They're crazy about him, just like any other red MAGA hat wearing Trump supporter. But, you know, more and more Black Americans are supporting Donald Trump. Why do you think that is? They accused the man of being a racist. They accused him of being a sexist. They accused him of being a liar, cheat, thief, everything under the sun. Yet his support seems to be growing as we see where our country is headed. Biden's in charge, the guy that people wanted to be president, so they say, has taken our country in the worst direction I've seen in my entire life. And so that's why more and more people are supporting Donald Trump, including Black Americans. So a woman on Instagram, a Black woman, said to me that I got it twisted, that they are only there because they want to be nosy and say that they were there when it happened or when he passed by. So she basically is, right, discrediting them or any intelligence that they may have by assuming that they are, you know, simply there to be nosy, not because they're informed and they're making an intelligent decision on their own, right? They're a bunch of dummies that are just there because they're nosy and they want to be seen. That's how you talk about Black people. You're a Black woman, right? You don't think that maybe some of them, at least, were intelligent enough to be informed or inform themselves and say, hey, I want to support Donald Trump. And I know what's going on here. This is political because the Bidens are being investigated. We don't hear that. We don't see that. They're not talking about this as much as they're talking about Trump. So, you know, I just thought that was like a strange, weird of a Black woman stereotyping other Black people, right? That's what that was. Just goes to show people's mentalities, people's minds, not really informed. They just say what they want to say. They're obviously programmed. And when you're programmed, sometimes you tweak. Chairman James Comer and Oversight Committee Republicans are investigating the Biden family's domestic and international business dealings to determine whether these activities compromise U.S. national security and President Biden's ability to lead with impartiality. I'm sorry that I said that right. Members of the Biden family have a pattern of peddling access to the highest levels of government to enrich themselves, often to the detriment of U.S. interests. We are committed to following the Biden family and associates' money trail, consisting of many complex international transactions worth millions of dollars, and providing answers to the American people. The American people deserve to know whether the president's connection to his family's business deals occurred at the expense of American interests and whether they represent a national security threat. Well, if you've been paying attention and following along, you should have heard the the Hunter Biden, either was it voicemail or message or text messages, where he is talking to Chinese officials and saying if, they don't get some deal done, that his father is going to use his resources to make it very difficult for them. Basically sitting, I'm waiting here with father. So you better follow through on your commitment. Otherwise, he will use the power that his father has, which is the power that the people of the United States of America have entrusted him with. He's going to leverage that for their own benefit. Yet we don't hear about this. It's not all over CNN. It's not all over the media. We see Donald Trump being charged, Donald Trump turning himself in, mugshots of Donald Trump. If this was Donald Trump's son, if Hunter Biden was Hunter Trump, forget about it. Forget about it. We would have saw everything that was in that laptop. But because it's Hunter Biden and not Hunter Trump, they're not showing much of it, if at all. And you need to inform yourself so you're not like that woman on IG, stereotyping her own people, assuming that they are the ones misinformed when she appears to be the one misinformed. And that's the problem that we have here in America. Too many misinformed people are screwing it up for the majority of us who are informed. It's this segment of the population that have gone bonkers, that are misinformed or uninformed, that are causing this to happen. It is their supporting Biden, supporting these Democrats. And I'm a Democrat, but these Democrats are out of control. They're out of control. Former Ukrainian prosecutor accuses Joe Biden of corruption. I mean, again, if this was Donald Trump being accused of corruption, we wouldn't hear the end of it. We would not hear the end of it. But it's not. Former Prosecutor General of Ukraine, Viktor Shokin, accused President Joe Biden of corruption, saying that while he didn't want to wade into unproven facts, his belief was that Biden bribed Ukrainian officials in exchange for his firing. And we heard about this, right? This guy was looking into Joe Biden's dealings in Ukraine. And so he had Joe Biden pressured the Ukrainian president to have him fired, withholding money that was promised to them, money that should be going to Maui, to American citizens who are suffering, yet they have only been promised so far $700. Well, how many billions has been sent to the Ukraine? Hell, the migrants coming in are getting more than that. Eric Adams is proposing $100 a day to house them. Do the math. Americans get 1 week. Migrants get unlimited funds. And this is not about race. It's not about anti-migrants. It's not. It's about if you were in charge of this country, if I were in charge of this country, I would be doing something about this. This would not be okay. If this was a company, your company would be failing. We're not making a profit. We're in trillions and trillions of dollars in debt. 16 trillion. We have just hit $16 trillion debt. New twist in Hunter Biden's case is a huge political headache for his father. A sudden new twist in the investigation to Hunter Biden means his legal tribulations will likely stretch on for months, creating an unwelcome new drag on his father's White House and re-election bid. Just weeks ago, the shadow of criminal suspicion over Hunter Biden seemed about to lift, but the elevation of David Weiss, the prosecutor investigating President Joe Biden's son, to special counsel status on Friday was as important for symbolic and political reasons as it was for legal ones. The new status grants him extra powers to broaden his inquiries, potentially into other states beyond the current patch as U.S. attorney in Delaware. So he's got more to investigate. And he should be investigating, but not just for the business dealings in Ukraine and in China, the country that's trying to take over the United States, if you don't know. The guy should be investigated for pedophilia. You have to see the photos. The Tucker Carlson interview with DJT, Donald J. Trump, has almost 260 million views in 48 hours. Incredible. Wow. If that doesn't say something, I don't know what else. Those folks who believe that Donald Trump is the devil, and I'm not saying he's the, second coming of the Messiah either. I'm not saying he's our Lord and Savior. In fact, if you ask me, the reality, what I believe is that we are living a reality TV show. Donald Trump is the protagonist, hero. Joe Biden and the Democrats are the antagonists, villains. And we are all the people in the middle of these two. It's all a reality show. But you have to inform yourself, folks. And you have to see it for what it is. I don't know why people by now still, are not with Joe Biden after everything that's happened. I can't go through another pandemic shutdown. Biden announced today that his 67 Corvette caught fire while idling in the Hot Wheels garage. Insurance scam. Weiss won't find Biden do anything wrong. It's a setup. Yeah, they're not. And this is what scares a lot of people, even here in Yonkers locally. It's just that the system is so corrupt. The FBI, the DOJ. Where do people turn to? People feel like there's nowhere to turn to. But you know what that means? That means ultimately it's up to us. This is the time. This is what we've been waiting for, right? The revolution. I've been waiting for this as a kid, since I've been reading up all these conspiracy theories. I'm ready to go when the people are going to rise up, right? And so that's why, folks, not to go into January 6th, but that's why that January 6th thing, what they did to those people, right? The reason why they did that was to set an example. They didn't do anything wrong. You got people in Portland taking over a police station, right? An entire city, right? Or city, blocks, a police station. And you're telling me that they allowed them to hold on to this police station for as long as they wanted. They didn't hunt those people down. This is a police station, law enforcement. Imagine a group of people just took over the 3rd precinct. Or took over the police headquarters, the detectives over there, right? And just, what do you think? We should just allow them to happen? Just keep it. Keep the 3rd precinct. Keep the 4th precinct. But that's what they did. They weren't hunted down by the FBI, and they weren't given all this time or dragged through the courts. But the people who were protesting because they truly believed that the elections were rigged, most of them just walking in peacefully, as they were allowed to do by the police. There's video of the police waving them in. It's like, that's entrapment. And they were hunted down. They were hunted down. They were put in jail for I don't know how long. Their pictures were put all over the media. Like they just were these terrorists, these homegrown terrorists that just blew up the Alfred J. Murrah building. Is that what it's called over in Oklahoma City in 1995? Or took down the Twin Towers. But they didn't. They walked into the People's Building. The People's Building. They didn't destroy it. They didn't set it on fire. Sure, you had some idiots that broke windows. And if, you ask me, Those were plans that were in there that did that. I saw some of them. You can see earpieces in their ears like this. What protesters go to a protest with these earpieces wearing tactical gear? Some of them were moving in tactical, doing tactical movements. There were guys, you can, if you watch the videos over there, these three guys, always is one scene where they have their hands on each other's shoulder and they're heading in the opposite direction of the rest of the protesters. That's a tactical move. They have each other thing. They're going through the crowd, right? And they're going in the opposite direction. So there were plants in there. And they wanted to set an example to let the people know, if you dare try to protest the government, you can take over a police station. We don't care. You can destroy private property, private businesses. We don't care. You could burn people's cars. We don't care. You could burn a Wendy's and a Burger King down. We don't care. But if you come into DC and you try to take over the people's buildings, you will be made an example of. But it's our right in the Constitution to take over our government if one that exists now is existing, right? If you have a tyrannical government, it is our duty, it's in the Constitution, to take it upon ourselves and create that change, remove that government. So we cannot be scared with these man-made laws that came many years after our Constitution, as these people who are in power created these laws simply to retain power and to restrict our freedoms. That's what it's all about. They did it slowly. They get you used to it. It's called conditioning. It's psychological. We don't even realize the games they're playing. Put your seatbelt on or you get a ticket. What does it matter? It's my life. Why are you going to fine me for not wearing a seatbelt in my car that I paid for? Right? And so many other things. But it's conditioning. It conditions you to follow, to obey. And that's what people have been now programmed. And now we, shame people. Now we do this social shaming now, right? So, remember you saw the pandemic, and if you didn't wear your mask or if you didn't take the shot, people shamed you. Oh, you don't care about other people. You're causing this to continue. It's because of people like you that this is never going to end. Now those very same people are dropping like flies, wishing they never took the jab, regretting it. Some are honest enough to admit it. Some are just quietly scared. And I know some of you. I'm sorry, not laughing. God forbid, I'm just saying they are scared. Well, have to use your noggin. I'm ready for restoration, not as enthused for revolution. Whoever fires the first shot will lose. Well, you're right. That's how it works in life, right? You have to swing first. I don't want to get sued. The Constitution is the supreme law of the land. It is. But we see our politicians more and more change the laws, amend the charters in order to favor them, to control and remain in control, to remain in power. And we've, seen that here locally, right? Many people feel like the changing of the term limits, extending the term limits was just that, changing the law in order for a certain group of individuals to retain power. And so many people did not like that. Whether they liked, the current administration or not, it was just a feeling of being violated. You were being stripped of your right, your God-given and constitutional right to decide whether or not you want these laws to change that are going to impact you, right? They're going to impact you. And so you want that right. And we voted once before. The people did make their voices heard and made a decision, and that was taken away without the people being allowed to have a say. And so that is what the issue is, right? And so we cannot allow that to happen. We must speak up, right? And this is just in general. I'm not saying anyone specifically. We must speak up. We have to have our voices heard. We cannot remain silent. We cannot shame other people. We have to work together. We must be united. All of us, Black, white, Hispanic, Asian, all Americans, the 99%, we have to be united more than ever. So it's up to us at this point, and you guys are right. I don't think that someone said there's no cavalry coming. It's up to the people. And I don't know if voting is going to work anymore. I've kind of lost hope in voting. 8 years is the limit. Yeah, we need the, there has to be. There's a reason for it, right? There's definitely a reason for it. And I think that we have to really fight for what is right. The people is up to us. Anyway, folks, I'm Freddie Vasquez. The Friday, have a beautiful weekend. I'm going to be busy this weekend. I'm very positive. No, I'm not angry. I'm actually happy, Mr. You-know-who. So people are strange. Like, look, folks, don't do something to people and then play victim later. You know what I mean? You got some people that just interjected themselves into my life. And listen, you want to come at me, I'm going to come at you. And then you play victim. Oh, why you got to, dude? So, like mama always told me, mind your business. You know what I mean? Mind your business, and the city is my business, right? If I live in Yonkers, it's all our business. It's all our business to know what's going on. It's all our business to, say something, to do something, we have to give back. We have to make sure that we all do our part to take care of the city, cleaning it up, whatever it is, giving back, whatever it is. We have to do our part. So that's our business, right? And our elected officials are our business, okay? They represent us. They impact us by the decisions that they make. That's our business. So, right? Anybody else that came in, all the outsiders as not politicians, the reason why I got into it with them is because they came in to defend the elected officials that I was criticizing. Right. And so you injected yourself, right? But God bless you. I'm not mad. I'm actually excited. I'm looking forward to this fall. I'm looking forward to some exciting programs that I'll be working on. So again, parents, especially parents of teenagers, because this is something big. This is the big part for me, the teenage program, the teenage club, the teen club, right? So parents of teenagers, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19-year-olds, be on the lookout for some information we're putting out in regards to that. It's going to be a great thing for parents who want their teenagers to have something to do after school, something positive, something where they can get information on whether it's deciding what they're going to do in terms of college after graduating, if they're going to continue their academic career, for another 4 or 6 years, depending on what they want to do. Or they're going to decide, I want to graduate, but I want to go into the workforce, but I'm not sure what I want to do. Or I kind of have an idea, but I don't know, how to go about it. This is what we're going to be doing. We're going to be helping guide you guys. All right. So it's something that's important for me because, I seen too many people just too much potential wasted. And it just is, it really makes me sad. It just does. I was talking to my former assistant principal, who's a principal now, but has been in the district for a long time. He's a legend. We were talking about different kids, that were in school with me. I'm talking about 4th, 5th, and 6th grade. This guy was my assistant principal. He's still working. And, a lot of stories of kids that just, ended up dead, ended up in jail, like these are the type of stories we're exchanging, and it shouldn't be like that. It really should not be like that. So it means a lot to me. It does. So look out for that information. We're going to be putting it out there. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff with college and careers and also workshops with financial literacy. We're going to be doing college visits. We're going to get on a bus. We're going to go to different colleges, let them see what it's like to go to college, live in a dorm, all that fun stuff, all that stuff that kids where I come from don't talk about. We just don't talk about it. We don't experience it, and we need to. That's how we succeed, and we break the cycle of poverty. I'm Freddie Vasquez. Be blessed. Have a good night.
Freddie wins.
I'm Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics. Supported. As always, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate every comment. I appreciate all the love and support, the emails, the messages, the text messages. Thank you very much, folks. I look forward to working with a lot of people out there in the community, meeting a lot of you people that I have not met, but are supporting Basement Politics, that shout me out. Once I release more information, make sure you come check me out. I want to get to know you. I want to get to know the community some more. Together, we make an impact. We're going to work on these kids. It's a village, and I'm going to put this village together. Let's go.
Freddie wins. Fatality.
I was raised in housing. I don't think you were.
You're watching Basement Politics with my dad, Freddie Vasquez.
You're watching Basement Politics with my dad, Freddie Vasquez. Thank you for watching Basement Politics with my husband, Freddie Vasquez.
Freddie wins. Fatality.
No!
Thank you. You too. I appreciate it. Take care. Be blessed. Be well. And enjoy.